Hello, it's Judith here from Therapies for the Mind, continuing my series of videos about sleep. So this is video number 2. I'm sure you can find the first one if you look carefully. That one covered the physical effects of having insufficient sleep or poor quality sleep. This time I'm going to talk about the mental and emotional effects of poor sleep. And just to define what poor sleep is, we should all be getting at least 7 hours sleep a night on a regular basis. So if you are getting 6, 5 or less hours sleep on a regular basis, you are getting insufficient sleep. If you are waking frequently during the night and not getting back to sleep very quickly, then you're having poor quality sleep because you're not going through the 5 complete sleep cycles that we need to go through in every night. Our sleep cycle is about 90 minutes, and they're important because what comes at the end is the REM sleep, the rapid eye movement sleep, and that's where a lot of the important stuff happens. So the mental and emotional effects of sleep. First of all, it affects our thinking, our cognitive function. And we all know this, even if we've only had 1 or 2 bad nights. Harder to concentrate, harder to focus, we feel less alert. And we struggle with reasoning and problem solving. Now, you know, the odd night of poor sleep and the odd day of poor thinking is not a problem, but these things tend to get worse over time. So particularly if what you do on a daily basis requires you to be able to reason and problem solve. And I can't think of many people who don't have to do that and focus and concentrate and then you are losing your abilities. They are deteriorating. One of the more serious ones, deteriorating abilities, is memory. Sleep is when we consolidate memories. Sleep is really important for babies and children because it's when they consolidate their learning, but we carry on doing that as adults. So we consolidate memories and we consolidate the learning of the day when we're asleep. And obviously if we're not doing that, then we're missing things that are of value to us. And again, that memory will get worse and worse over time as you are sleeping insufficiently for a longer period of time. Mood changes is the next one, and then this is the one we probably most recognize. I am not a morning person, as anybody who's ever been around first thing in the morning with me knows. So yeah, my children learned early on not to talk to me. Go and talk to daddy instead. So we all know that, you know, if you've had poor sleep, you're a little bit irritable, a little bit touchy, you know, and yeah. But if it's 1 or 2 nights of poor sleep, we recover very quickly with some good sleep. But what happens with long-term poor sleep is we become more and more emotional, so we're not as resilient to the stuff that happens to us. We become moody and we become very short-tempered. So we're on a very, very short fuse. And worse than that, if we carry on with the poor sleep, as with all the other things, these things get worse and they can escalate and lead to anxiety or depression. Now, most of the people I see with anxiety and depression have sleep problems. Sometimes with depression, it's sleeping too much, but sometimes it's not enough sleep. And certainly with anxiety, it's not enough sleep. And it's very difficult to know which comes first. The anxiety causing the sleep problems. So typically my clients will report, I can't get to sleep. My brain's going 19 to the dozen. You know, I can't turn it off. I can't switch it off. Or I'm lying awake worrying about things, or however they put it. But it could be that the poor sleep has caused the anxiety. So it can go either way. And then you've got a lovely little cycle set up where the poor sleep makes the anxiety worse and the anxiety makes the sleep worse. And so we go on down and down and down. And that is the point when people really need to sleep, to seek help, not just with their sleep, but with their anxiety or the depression, so that we can break that cycle. Okay, and lastly, and I found this quite interesting, pretty obvious to begin with, but poor sleep affects our judgment. And I suppose that partly goes back to the reasoning thing, but it particularly affects our judgment about how well we're coping without sleep. So when I see people with insomnia, I mean, yeah, they're normally struggling, and I've seen some people who are really are struggling. But some people say, well, no, I don't sleep. No, I get about 5 hours a night, but I'm okay. I'm functioning on that. I'm absolutely fine. That is poor judgment. If you are sleeping poorly on a regular basis, not getting enough good sleep, then you are not functioning properly. Which is why I'm doing these, particularly these 2 videos about the effects of sleep on your physical, mental and emotional well-being. You're coping because you have to, but you're not functioning at anywhere near your best. And as we saw with the physical effects, they can lead to heart disease and death. And with the mental effects, they can lead to anxiety and depression. Now, neither of those are places that any of us want to go. So if your sleep is poor, has consistently been poor, then it's probably time to take some action. And below this video, there will be a link to something you can try, which is a sleep relaxation recording to help you get to sleep and get back to sleep if you wake in the night. Anyway, I really hope you sleep well tonight and in the nights to come until we meet again on the next video. But until then, bye and take care.